Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I'm not sure if anybody's watching yet. I can't see any comments. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for what I'm filming to show up on the screen. So I'll just ramble for a minute and hope somebody's there shortly. So today's live is going to be how I made some packaging. So here in Britain, you probably get these in other parts of the world, I don't really know. We have these Terry's chocolate oranges. They're really popular. Everybody loves a Terry's chocolate orange. And oh, hello, Karen. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming along. It's good you made the beginning. Sometimes I know you sort of come along a bit later, so lovely to see you. So yeah, the Terry's chocolate orange is a really popular treat, and I like to buy something like this for my clients. It's just a little thank you for work they've given me throughout the year. Now, I like to give these because they are quite reasonably priced, because I have to buy quite a lot of them. I won't tell you exactly how many, but I do buy quite a lot of these. So at Christmas time, you can often get them for about £1, which is brilliant. So anyway, yeah, I didn't just want to gift it like this. I wanted to put it on their desks, looking nice, looking different. You know what us crafters are like. So I went through a lot of different ideas of what to do, and lots of things ran through my mind. And in the end, I decided on a half cracker box. So I don't know if you've ever seen them. I've made small ones before, but never big ones. So I had to work out the measurements for myself. Oh, hello, Cindy. Oh, is it really wet there? Oh, gosh, feel sorry for you. We've had a really wet, rainy week, so I know what it's been like. But thanks for coming along, making the effort. So I was just running through, Cindy, that I'm gifting Terry's chocolate oranges to clients to thank them for the work they've given me. And I had to work out a way to gift it nicely. Hi, Claire, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming along. So I worked through trying to make a half cracker box to fit this, and well, you'd have loved it if you'd seen me yesterday. I'm going to show you some of my workings. Hi, Hilary. Showing you the box I've worked out for gifting the chocolate orange. So this is my kind of my workings. Now you will see, if you look closely, there are more lines on this project than are in your bottom sheet. I scored everywhere and I folded in. But I just kept thinking I'm not going to keep going over and over using more and more cardstock. So I just did everything on here. And I can't believe that I made something out of it. And I got so far and it was kind of working. But the bit I was having trouble with was where the cracker folds in on itself. How much space to leave here, where to cut. That was the difficult part. The only way I could do it was by cutting it in half. Anyway, that's what goes into, you know, working out these projects. However, it, you know, I did spend probably all morning on it yesterday and I came up with it and now I've got it. So let's start, shall we? So I'm going to be using my trimmer to do all my scoring. I do find this is probably the easiest way for me. Now, I like to work with mine. You've seen me do this before. I like to work with it upside down because it means I can see very clearly my measurements here. If they're up the top, if I have it the other way around so the measurements are up there, I've got to get right over it to see. So for me, this is better. So I'm going to start with my cardstock, and it measures 11.5 by 10 3/4. So if you haven't worked that out already, you do need a piece of cardstock, which is 12 by 12, because you can't get this out of an A4. However, if you only have A4, my prototype was using A4, and I can kind of show you what I did. Yes, I stuck 2 pieces together to get the height, but I just figured it was easier as I had the 12 by 12 to use it. Oh, hi Esther, thanks for coming along. I'm just showing how I worked out how to make, well, I'm showing you after working it out, how I'm making a half cracker box for chocolate orange to gift it. Okay, so taking my cardstock, as I say, it's 11.5 by 10 3/4. So I'm putting my cardstock in so that the 11.5 width is this way at the moment. Okay. Hello Shirley, thank you very much for joining us. And my first score line is going to be at 2 3/4 inches. So I move the edge of my card to the 2 3/4 inch mark and I score. My next score line is going to be at 5.5. I'm trying to be really precise about this. And then it's at 8.25. And finally at 11. Oh, nearly cut it then. Ooh. So we've got 1/2 inch, and these are all 2 3/4 inch increments. And that's because that's the width here. Okay. Now I'm going to do the scoring for the length of the cracker. Okay. So I'm going to turn it round so that the 10 3/4 inch width is now this way. Okay. So I need to, first of all, score at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to bring that up to the 1/2 inch mark. Then I've got to score at 3 1/4. And then at 7. And then at 7 3/4. And then at 8.5. Okay, so that's all the scoring. So I can now take my scoreboard and pop that out of the way. Right, let's just stop and see if I've got any more comments. So I said hello to Esther, I said hello to Shirley. Oh, Shirley says nice nails. Yeah, just got my nails done yesterday, and I thought I'd go for the tartan as we're getting near to Christmas. I think I'm having them done once more before Christmas, so they might I might get an even different Christmas design. Let's see. Okay, so the next part is, as you all know, folding and burnishing on all our lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So what's everybody been doing this morning? Have you all had a crafty morning? Has it been shopping? Have you been doing the dreaded housework? What's been going on? So somebody is conspicuous by their absence today, and that's our Anne. I wonder where she is. It's not like her to miss. She's usually here. You're having breakfast, Cindy. Good, good. What are you having today? Is it your treat day today with the muffins? I can't remember if that's Saturday or Sunday. Esther's been laminating. What have you been laminating? Oh, so Cindy's got, oh, it's Sunday for the muffins. Yeah, Marmite and toast today. Lovely. And Shirley's been doing her food shop. Yeah, all these things that have to be done. Okay, so having folded everything, I'm now going to rub out my measurements here. You don't have to write that on. I just wrote it on the cardstock so that I made sure I was scoring in the right direction for the video. Because you know what it's like. You get on, you start chatting to people and you sort of forget to check that you're scoring in the right direction. So we need to start by folding it and getting this width bit sorted out. And looking at the top and deciding where we need to cut. So the box is going to fold round like that. And because I don't want the cracker top to be spoilt and dismantled to get the chocolate orange out, I've decided to put the flap at the bottom so people can keep it in a cracker and just undo the bottom for the to get the chocolate out. Okay, so the way to do this is to decide which is going to be the back, and this is the back because there's a join there. So that's the piece I'm going to take away. All right, so I'm going to take away all of that piece there, including that little tab. Okay, so in come the big scissors, especially for Esther. So Esther said she's been doing some cash challenges. Oh yes, I know, yeah. And Claire's been to work for Christmas decorations. Oh wow. And the kids went to badminton. Did I hear the word scissors? Ellie's big scissors. Okay, so I'm going to completely remove. Is this right? I've got a funny feeling that that's not. Yeah, it is. It is right. I hate this part, you know, when you're going to cut that first bit. Yeah. So cut that right off. And then you can cut that, a little bit of a wedge there. And then cut straight down there. And while I remember it, I need to cut out a little thumb hole there. So I use my circle punch. This one happens to be 3/4 inch, but whatever size you have. And I'm just going to cut out a half circle, try and get it as central as possible. So Karen's been designing a card for the video hop. Good luck with that. So if I fold this round again, this is the back. So this is going to be the front that folds over and tucks in. So I'm going to cut straight down these lines. When you're making this kind of thing, just keep checking. So every time you make a cut and a fold it back, make sure you know where you're going with it. So this one's going to be folded up. So I'm going to fold it up out of the way so I don't cut it by mistake. And these two pieces I need to cut down. So you don't need to measure this, but I need to cut it down by about But I just want it to be, I don't know, roughly an inchish, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just to make sure that I get them roughly the same, I just fold it over like that and I give myself a marker. Okay, so I think you can now start to see this coming together. It's going to go like that with this one tucked in. Okay, so I'm just going to do some little notches on the corner of these so that they fold in nicely. So if you've got any card classes or anything today, Cindy, I know you do sometimes do something on a Saturday. Okay, so I'm just going to cut away as well 2 really small bits off of here, and you know, really tiny, only that sort of size, because you can always cut a little bit more off later, but I don't want to cut too much off because I want to make sure this stays in, this flap stays in. So Cindy doesn't have any classes today. She's doing the flip over calendar next Saturday. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. Now, before I actually start sticking this together, I'm just going to fold one of these lines back the other way. Okay, and that's this one down here, because that is the one that folds in like this. Okay, so I'm going to fold it back that way and give it a good burnish. All right, so it's going to go like this. Okay, so that's the basis of the box. We can now start to glue it together. So what I like to do, because this box is symmetrical, so the 4 sides all measure the same, I can fold it flat so that I can make sure I get really good, a really good stick along here. Now, if you want to make this, use whatever glue you have, but it has to be one that you know you can rely on 100%. So for me, that's got to be wet glue. So I come here with my Tombow. I put a fair bit on, and then I stop squeezing as I spread it out. And I'm going to go liberally. I mean, I'm not saturating it with glue, but I'm making sure I've got plenty on here because I really want to make sure that this sticks. Hills, did you speak to Anne last night? I'm just hoping that she's okay. Nothing's happened. So I'm sure, I don't remember her saying she was doing anything on a Saturday, and it's very unlike her not to be here unless there's been a problem, which I hope to goodness there hasn't. Hello, Kay. How lovely to see you. How are you feeling today? Thank you for making the effort to come along. I know things are not easy for you at the moment. Now I'm really going to take my time over this because I want to make sure it's really stuck down before I move it. So I'm just going to keep going over and over that to make sure. I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure this really sticks down. Levine, hi, thank you for coming along. Great to see you too. So Hilary did speak to Anne and everything's okay, I hope, yeah. So Kay says she's better than she was Wednesday. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was just asking earlier what everyone's been doing this morning. So what have you been up to, Levine? Have you been out and about with Bolero somewhere. I don't know if is it football he does today? I can't remember what he does. I can't keep up with all his activities. So while it's flat like this, I'm going to put the designer series paper on. And I do this every time. I always mean to put the paper on before I cut that little bit so that this matches. So I'm going to have to stick it on and then we'll sort that out afterwards. Now, the box is going to be this way up. This is going to be the top. So I'm going to put, that piece was cut from there. As you can see, it's like that. So I like to put it so that it matches. And incidentally, this paper is the 6x6 paperpack even, called Lights Aglow. Love it. Oh no, Bolero's got COVID. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh, I hope he's not too poorly, Levine. I really do. Okay, so this particular box is going to be for a gentleman. So I decided to go with the lovely black and gold design, just to be a little bit different. So they're going to go either side there. And let's get my tweezers. And we'll get sticking with this. So because I'm going to cut a little bit out here, I don't want to put any glue on that bit. So let's do the bottom first. Come round to the corners and let's hope that holds. Probably about there. So I'm putting this on so that it's got about 1/8 of an inch border all round. So these pieces at the bottom measure 3.5 by 2.5, and these are 2.5 by 2, I believe. I'll just check that for you. Yep, it's 2.5 by 2, that's right. So let's just pop this on. I love this paper. I think there's 8 designs in the pack, and I think it's 6 sheets of each you get. Is that right? 6 8's 48. Yeah, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah, I just love it. It's all of it is gold foiled on one side and plain on the other. But both sides of these papers are gorgeous. So that's the flip side of that one. And that's the flip side of that one. So they're all really usable. Oh, he doesn't sound good at all, does he, Levine? Sorry, I was just reading your comment. I really hope he doesn't get it really badly. Oh, well, if he keeps calling you, yeah, he's getting better, isn't he? Oh, dear. So I thought I would alternate this design. I will do opposite sides in opposite colours. It's always easier to pop the designer series paper on while your project's flat when you're making a box, because it gives you a solid surface to lean on, and you can make sure you can press down all over like this to give it a good adhesion and make sure that your glue spreads out. So if I flip this over and I'm doing my black and gold on this side, and my red and gold on this side, like so. So what do you think of the project so far? Is it something anybody might recreate, do you think? My son, Russell, is in a bit of a... he might be hyperventilating by now. He's making a new recipe for dinner this evening. So he's quite worried about it. I mean, he did choose it and he said he wanted to do it. You know what they're like. And he's kind of like keeps saying to me, oh, did you get this? Have we got that? Well, I'm not sure how to... And I keep saying to him, well, it doesn't matter because you know I'll be standing next to you while you'll be doing it. But yeah, he's getting in a bit of a state. And don't ask me what it is because I've completely forgotten. It's vegetarian, I do know that. So yeah. But I mean, he regularly cooks 3 other recipes and they are lovely. So I'm sure this one will be okay. Although it contains kale. I'm not very good at leafy greens, but you know, I'm giving it a go. You know, I have this policy. You must not say you don't like something until you've tried it. So Karen says that she's going to have a go at making this. Oh, that's good. Well, that's really good to hear. And Shirley's going to have a go. Thank you. So just look back and watch it all again to get the measurements. And I know it's a little bit tricky, but you know, if you watch and sort of make it along with me, pause the video, I'm sure you'll do it. Cindy said you'd have to love them a lot. Yeah, I remember somebody saying that. The shaker card. Kay does not like kale. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Right, so now to get this part here. Now, when I'm doing my prototype, I remembered that when I made the mini crackers, I used my, let's bring it in, the old Stampin' Up envelope punch board, right? This is no longer available, so I didn't want to use this to make mine. But what I did was I just used it to get the idea of where I needed to punch and how big the punch had to be. But it didn't work. It wasn't big enough. So this wouldn't be useful for this project. It's only good for small things. So I decided I would just use scissors. So anybody can do this. You don't need a tool. Levine says, yes, I done a few of these last year. Love yours has an open both ends. Yeah, now I made something similar to this a few years ago. It wasn't a cracker box. It had a very fancy top. But the thing is, you had to open the top to get to the orange and then you ruined your box. So that's why I thought I would make it open at the bottom. So here we go then. Now to make the bit that makes it work, the join, where it's joined, will be more difficult because you've got 2 layers, okay? But what you need to do is start, that's my score line. I'm going to come up a tiny bit from the score line. It does have to be close to, but don't do it right on. So, I mean, I don't know, just less than 1/8 of an inch. And come up to about the 1/2 inch mark. It doesn't have to be absolutely spot on, but about 1/2 inch. And then come from the other side and meet that point. So this is about 1 inch square, okay? And that is as difficult as it gets. That's all you're doing is cutting out a kind of triangular shape from each part. And you've got a score line here and here all to match up to. Now, if these are slightly different, it honestly won't matter. If you're, you know, a fraction of an inch out, honestly, it's fine. Don't know where that went, but I'm gonna have to clear that up off the floor later. So you just need to do this 4 times. So just to have a look, see, so that's a bit different, but honestly, it won't show when it's all made. Nobody will notice. And as you can see, when I fold that over, it's a bit different. Don't worry about it. As long as it works. Now, this is the bit where it's folded, so I need to just press quite hard on my scissors here, but it's not very, very difficult. Okay. So Shirley says, I was wondering how you're going to do this, but that's really easy and no specific tools required. Exactly, Shirley. That was my initial problem when I was thinking of designing this. What was I going to use to do that? Because I wanted to make sure it was something that was currently available. And our scissors are currently available. Jolly good value and really good scissors. So we're almost there, look. Okay. So that's half a cracker, isn't it? Now what I need to do, and I should have done this earlier, shouldn't I, is I just need to take out that little bit of designer series paper there. Okay, but because this box is nice and big, I can fit my punch in really easily, and I can just push it over like that and match it up because I can see through. I need to put it in front of me, but I can match it up and just cut that little bit of designer series paper out to match my thumb hole. Now, I'm not going to put the chocolate orange in its box, okay? This is its new box. It doesn't need the other one. But I am going to use the plastic support it comes in. So I'm just going to slide it in like so, and it fits perfectly. Whew. Just push the sides in and then get this and slide it in here. Now this is where I was saying don't cut too much off before you do this, because you want this to be nice and tight. You want that to stay in. You don't want it to flap out, and that fits beautifully. Now if it had been a bit too tight, we could have just cut a little bit off, a little bit more off, okay? But that is so tight, look, even the weight of the orange isn't gonna knock it out. Okay, so this is our lovely half cracker, and as you can see it from the side, you've got that real cracker shape. Now for that top bit, you can see it's an orange inside, so you can just push a little bit of you know, the tissue paper you can get. I think I've got some somewhere. Bear with me, I'll be just a second to see if I can find it. Right, I can't find it. It's a long time since I've seen it, but just to demonstrate, I've got a piece of just cellophane here. But if I show you, if you just push that, just pretend that's your tissue paper. If you just push that down there, it covers what's in the box, and well, it just looks a bit better. Okay, so that's all you need to do. And that also gives you somewhere to tie your ribbon onto. I haven't looked at the comments for a minute. Hang on, let's just grab my ribbon. So Janice Hilton. Hello, Janice. I didn't see you come on. Thank you for coming along. Good to see you. Janice says, oh my goodness, this is awesome. Big thanks from Canada. Thank you. That's lovely. And Shirley says she loves it. Very impressive. Well, I'm glad it is, because, you know, it did take a lot of working out. But, you know, when I'd finally done it, I thought, well, actually, do you know, that wasn't really difficult. The difficult part was working out this, how wide it was going to be, how big these needed to be. And once I got that cracked, it was quite simple. So for the ribbon, these are just 2 bits of ribbon I found in my stash. I really don't know where they came from, but I thought it would be really good to use the 2 colours, the black and the red, and tie them together. So I'm thinking, I don't know whether to stick these together or let them flow freely. I'm really not sure what to do here. I'm thinking if I try and keep them together, it might not come off. Now, I think I'm going to have to stick them together, otherwise run the risk of it falling apart halfway through. Do you agree? So I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back of this, or tear and tape, whatever you like to call it. So Claire says, don't forget a thumbs up for Ellie. Oh yeah, thank you. I can see actually there are 10 there, so you've done really well. Thank you for that. So let's just put this tear and tape, double-sided tape, along the length here. I went to a function last night. Oh, I was absolutely amazed. So it's a company I do some work for. They invested in a new building. Well, I say a new building. It's a new building to them. It's their new headquarters. But it's actually an old building that they've bought. And it's quite an iconic building in my town. I don't know what it was originally, but for a long time it was our maternity hospital, and a good proportion of people in our town were born there. And so it's quite iconic in that respect, because we think a lot of people might come to this company for business because they were born there, and the business I work in, where you were born, is actually quite relevant. So yeah, we're hoping that that will help them to get more business. It's in a very prominent position, but it's a really old building and it is beautiful, and what they have done to it is just unbelievable. I hate to think how much money they spent. Well, I can't even begin to think how much, but oh, the furnishings are amazing. What they've done with it is just fabulous. So I'm going to, should have cut this in half before I started actually. Oh well, that came off quite simply, didn't it? I'm just gonna have to go for it. So I think what I'm gonna do, my original thing, I'm gonna cut the backing off there. Just hold that in place and do my trick of just pushing that away. So it's stuck in the middle now. I'm just gonna, I think I'll stick the other end down. Oh my goodness, why didn't I just start from the other end? This is quite fiddly. Yeah, I could have used glue dots, couldn't I? But I would have had to use quite a lot of glue dots to do the length of this ribbon, Kay. Right. That's it. Now I've got my head around it. Actually, this wasn't difficult at all. So if I do that at both ends and just gently pull this off. As I go along, I can't just rip this like I do with cardstock. I think I would, it's not quite as robust as a piece of ribbon. There we go. I don't think it has to be bang in the middle. I just don't want it to separate while I'm tying it up. There we go. So yeah, both of these ribbons have been in my stash for years, so I could have got them anywhere. So if I just, I think I'll just pull that off now from this end and try and keep it in the middle as I go along. I think the problem is because the red one is quite a stiff ribbon, but the black one is very flimsy. Ah, now this is what I should have done in the first place. Look, this is working well. Oh, I'm getting very warm here. I always get very warm when I do a live. Must be the adrenaline. So how's everyone getting on with their Christmas projects? Are all your cards made? Are any of them posted? Have you got many gifts? Have you got all your gifts? So let's pull this, not really tight, but just so that it sits nicely. When this sits up itself and it's square, that's as tight as you need to get. All right, and then when I'm dyeing a bow, I like to use the bunny ears method because that gets my two bow middles in the right place. It gets them both round the right way, because if you do it in the way that you were taught to tie your shoelaces, one of your bows goes inside out, and we don't want that. We want the good side to be outermost. Okay, so as I pull that through, I push the tail down on both sides, and out it comes. This looks like a very posh bow tie for Christmas. It's gone very quiet. I'm wondering if everyone's concentrating or it's got a bit complex and you've all gone to sleep. But yeah, that's my lovely bow. And I'm going to turn it on its side now so that you can see the effect of the, so this is what it would look like when it's standing up. Okay, like so. And I'm going to use my ribbon scissors to, I'm going to cut, oh, no, I don't think I can do this doubled up because that ribbon in the middle is quite thick and it's got those sparkly bits on. So I'm going to do it like that. Kay says, I was shown if you do the bunny ear method upside down, the tails fall in the light. Do you know what, Kay? I found that the other day. Well, not the other day, but some time ago. But it doesn't always work. You know, sometimes it does, more often than not. But if I just push them where I want them to go, they do go quite easily. So this, because this is very strong, this ribbon, it wants to go that way. So I am going to do what Kay suggested a while ago. There is a use for the glue dots here, and that is for sticking the ribbon down. So if I put a glue dot there, and I'm going to put another one halfway up because this, as I say, it is quite strong, this ribbon. I'm going to put one there as well. Shirley says it's very decadent. Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Look at that. And then we'll put this one a little bit shorter, because I always think it looks better if ribbon tails are a little bit odd. If they're exactly the same, it looks too regimented. So I think we'll make that one a little bit shorter and maybe put it at a jaunty angle. So we'll put that one halfway up there. And then, oh, that one's come off on my finger, so I'll have to just pop that there. The ribbon does look better sometimes if it's not dead straight. Look at all this glitter on my worktop. So there we are. And just to finish it off so that the person knows who it's for, I've used the beautiful designer tags dies here, and I've just used that one for this particular project, but when you put these together they are fabulous. So that's just come out with that little tag there. Now I need to find something to stamp on, and I do have my piercing mat here, always buried under something, and I've taken Merry Christmas. Now this is from, oh, what was that called? Some Snowflake Wishes, which was in our range last year, but I couldn't find a stamp set that had a small enough Merry Christmas for this label. So I believe that that's Cherry Cobbler, that colour. So I've taken the Cherry Cobbler ink pad, and it's all right, Esther, I know people have got other things to do. We all do two things at the same time. And I'm just going to stamp that at the top. So that I can write underneath, to whoever, with love from. Well, actually, as it's from a client, I probably won't say with love. Right, the top of my glue has got caught in the bottom of my jar. So I would just take a piece of twine, and everything else is so ornate on this box. I don't want anything really to show up a lot. So I'm just using this plain twine, which I still have from this little box of tricks, which Cindy gave me back in 2018, I believe. Okay, thanks Shirley for coming along. And yeah, if you look below, you'll see my Facebook group. You can post your make on there for us all to have a look at. I'd love to see it. So I'm just going to, I'm going to cut quite a long piece of this and double it up because it's very fine. So if I put, oh, so I've folded it in 4 really, and if I push that through, just use my tweezers to grab it from the back. I can pull that and push that through the loop like so. And what I would do is actually hang that. I would stick it inside, just inside, like so, inside the box there, so that it will hang down where I want it to. Okay. Oh, thanks, Esther. If you could put the link in there, it'd be good, but it is in the description box below, or it will be. So that's today's project. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, have a go. And like I say, it was a bit tricky to begin with, but I do think you'll you know, you'll agree that the end product really is lovely. Okay, well, I'm hoping to have a recorded video for you on Wednesday evening, and I hope to be back again next Saturday. Actually, I won't be here live because I'm going away for the weekend, but hopefully if I can record a video for you to watch instead, that's what I'll do. So links to the online store are in the description box below, and the current downloadable catalogues. So bye bye for now, and thank you all very much again for watching.